It's that time of year again. It's the new year. That means we're talking trends for 2025. I debated making two videos into one, trends I'm done with in 2024 and then trends I'm predicting for 2025. But we're going to do two separate ones to keep it shorter and more concise in case you don't care about what's out and you only care about what's in. But hi, if you're new here, my name's Lindsay. I talk a lot about thrifting and fashion content. If that's your vibe, stick around. My credentials are I went to fashion school for 5 years and I've been making YouTube videos and talking about fashion online for 7 years. So I love you to stick around and subscribe. Follow me here, follow me on TikTok if you're not from the US, and Instagram if you are from the US. Anyways, let's get right into the video. I'm very excited to talk about trends. The first one that I have been seeing a lot of people talk about is buttons. I think this is quite interesting because I feel like it's such like a niche, kind of a complicated trend because you're not just gonna find things with buttons on them, and it's something that fast fashion brands probably in a year will be doing, is adding so many buttons to cuffs, to collars. I've seen it just more DIY delicately done, and I think that's so much more exciting and cute than how a fast fashion brand would interpret it. So I think for now it's fun if you care to hop on trends. I think this was such a fun DIY moment and I really like that it's kind of more crafty looking. I'll insert some pictures, but I think yeah, just buttons on bags is also really cute. It just takes a lot of work to add a button to something. But I also think on this note, big buttons in cardigans rather than small dainty buttons. We're gonna see big buttons. I have quite a few jackets that have big buttons. I have a short sleeve blazer that has 3 big buttons, and then my red cardigan I wore in my last thrift with me has giant like fabric covered buttons, and I think that looks so good. I think I honestly gravitate more towards bigger buttons. I have a new light and I'm also working on understanding what looks better. If things look different, I had to delete some videos. Anyways, my next one, kind of similar to this. I see so many vintage brooches at my local thrift stores because the old ladies just donate their old jewelry, and I feel like it's such a forgotten piece of jewelry, and I think maybe multiple brooches on a collar would be so cute, or like even on like a cuff, or just like one brooch to add an extra piece of jewelry. I think if you find like really cute, cool, unique ones, vintage ones obviously, that's what I always look for in trends also, is things you can thrift and things that are vintage that are coming back around. I think is always key when talking about trends that are not just fast fashion focused. But I think brooches can be really fun, and I've seen a lot of people kind of play on this like idea of like having something on your chest, or like adding things is like also badges, or like ribbons, like a show ribbon, if you know what I mean, like a prize ribbon or something. I think it's unique. I don't know how. I think you have to have like a really specific idea of how you want to style that, like a ribbon or a badge. But I think we haven't seen like the DIY crafty idea of brooches or even badges on like patches on clothing since like the 80s. Like I don't think nobody's really been that innovative in a while. So I'm really wanting to thrift some brooches to start, and then maybe I'll venture into my ribbons and badges. But I think people are doing it really cool, and I think it's like a different type of accessory you don't really think of unless you're really into fashion and styling. So that's another one that have in my head when I'm at the thrift store. Okay, this is another one. I think maybe not even a trend. I think when I think trends, I think what am I gonna participate in? And I've been really loving pleats. I think pleats, especially like Izzy Miyake pleats please moments, are so chic, and I feel like also it's maybe not the most flattering on my body, like a full pleated moment. It would be something interesting to try and style. Like a pleated low-rise pant is something I would go for, maybe not a high-rise pant. Like a little top, I think it's just like a forgotten about type of fabric or type of sewing detail. And when I say pleats, I mean like the Izzy Miyake pleats please. And I also think like its skirts obviously are like what people think of when you think pleats, but I think pleated other things could be so interesting. And I think even seeing the Lacoste bags that look like tennis skirts is so fun. So I think pleated, I'll have to find some imagery, but like pleated bags, I don't even know if that's a thing. Like a pleated tote bag could be so fun. Pleated pants is kind of what I want. I don't even know if this is on other people's radar as a trend. I think just for 2025, it's sophisticated. It's kind of the vibe I'm going for. It adds interest to a basic. You can have just a basic pant that's basic material, but sometimes the trend can be in the material and and the fabric. So I'm excited to look for that at the thrift store. The next one is studs, and this is one if you asked me 2 years ago, I've been like, those are disgustingly ugly. I never want studs to come back on anything, but they were so popular in the 2010s. Like the Valentino heels, studs on bags. A few years ago I would have thought like that's so ugly, but it makes sense. Like we're going into that resurgence of 2009, 2010. Speaking of 2009 in bags, I was on Facebook Marketplace the other day, and preface, we don't support designers that have been accused of crimes against other people. I don't want to get flagged for this video, but I have been wanting a designer bag that was popular in the 2010s. I like have the few that I think about all the time, and one of those is the Alexander Wang Rocco bag with the studs on the bottom, and they're going for so cheap these days because I mean literally we don't like him. But I think if you buy something secondhand from a designer who's maybe not the best, I think you're still saving a piece that could go in the landfill, or you can give it a second life. And I really like the style, and I got it for $80 on Facebook Marketplace. Is the Rocco bag from 2009, and I have been eyeing the Balenciaga city bags forever. I know everybody has them, they're coming back. Balenciaga has its own list of problems, but I think if you buy something secondhand, it's okay, you're saving a piece. So this is my Rocco bag. It has 4 rows of studs. I think this is the regular or the mini. My laptop doesn't fit lengthwise, but if I shove it this way, it is a bit heavy. I was reading reviews on it, but I don't have a light colored leather bag, and when I saw this I was like, I love the studs. The studs are what I love about it, and I don't know, I just feel like these maybe will come back, and not saying I want them to come back just because of the reputation of the designer, but I think style is what I'm kind of thinking of. I love the studs on the bottom. That's what really draws me to this bag. And even if it's worn, it literally, you can't even tell because it's pebbled leather, so even if it gets a scratch, it's like part of the vibe. So I just really wanted a lighter colored leather bag, and I'm so excited about this. Anywho, studs are my next predictions, and I think studs on shoes will be really interesting to see how that comes back, because I feel like that's such like a, you can definitely tell when it's from 2010. It would be very interesting to see how that comes back in the new day and age, because the trends always get recycled but in new ways, and it's kind of fun to see. So, but in terms of bags, I think that bag, the Rocco bags, may come back in style, because the city bags have been so popular. I mean, maybe it's just in my realm of things, but I think they're really cute. I think they are definitely very popular right now, and more expensive than they probably were a few years ago to buy secondhand anyway. But I think we see things resurge, so we'll see if this bag makes a comeback. Okay, my next one is, I talked about boho chic in my like summer trends video last year. I'm definitely leaning more into it this year. I bought a pair of fringe boots. If you go see my thrift with me, I think they're so fun. I have yet to style them. My brain cannot comprehend how I'm gonna style them yet. I do have one idea. I just don't have the perfect pair of jeans that I wish I had to style them with. They're like a 3-tiered, kind of like an UGG style, but it's fringe. And I saw somebody else thrift a pair on TikTok, and I was like, okay, at least I'm not totally like out of whack with this wave of a trend of fringe. I'm just excited to try and style them. I'm gonna style them for one of my 75 days of outfits on TikTok. So go follow me there, or Instagram. I'm posting them on Instagram as well. I'll probably end up posting them on my YouTube shorts eventually, but yeah, I'm excited to style those. I think it's a fun challenge, and that's what I'm here for in 2025, is styling challenge. Challenging myself with my styling. And then going off the more boho aesthetic, I think loose crochet will be in. I feel like we've seen a lot of crochet in like 2020 with like bright colors and just like crochet tops, crochet dress, but like just because the fact it was a crochet knit look. But I think the 2010s we saw a lot of like ponchos. Ponchos are inherently looser crocheted items. I think that kind of like loose crochet. I have a little cardigan that's like a short sleeve black crochet, like that over just like a white t-shirt, or just like a black bra for like a festival look or something. I just think it's like kind of a new version of lace or mesh, because it's like a see-through fabric, but it's crochet. I think it's fun. I love a poncho. I've thrifted many ponchos recently, and I'm definitely on my boho wave. And my last trend prediction and accessory is ring stacks. I saw one TikTok about this, and I was like, that's such a niche thing, but it makes total sense, because we've been seeing so many chunky rings recently in the past few years, like those really ugly colored rings with those like studs on them from like 2020, you have to know what I'm talking about. I never purchased those because I just like don't buy things impulsively. That was like a failed version of studs coming back. Thinner rings we haven't seen in a while. I remember getting a pack of thin rings from Brandy Melville, and I think I still have some. They were just like, it was like you know how they have like the hand and like the cardboard, and like it had like 7 small rings. That was like the one thing I bought from the Ottawa Rideau Centre Value Village, the Ottawa Rideau Centre Brandy Melville when it existed there. I bought like that pack with like 7 rings, and I think like that kind of thin ring stack vibe is gonna come back, where we see just like dainty little rings on all your fingers rather than like too many chunky rings. I do love my chunky rings, but I find thinner rings are just more comfortable. I'm somebody who's very sensory. I have like open wounds on my hands at all times because I have dyshydrotic eczema, so wearing rings can hurt a little bit sometimes. So I think maybe thinner rings could be the vibe going forward, with ring stacks either on one finger or like the spread out one like the Brandy Melville one I had. So that's my last trend prediction. But let me know what you're kind of predicting for 2025. I'm really starting to think about spring and summer, and I already thrifted something in my last thrift with me for summer that I'm really excited about, and I think I'm just obviously trying to be more mindful with my thrifting. So if you want to see that journey of my 75-day styling challenge on TikTok or Instagram, go follow me there. And I'm also posting a lot on my Depop now, so you will want to check out my Depop. But yeah, if you guys like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video, or maybe you're coming from my fashion trends that are out 2024 video. I'm gonna film that right now, so I'll see you in my next video, but don't forget to subscribe.